Ladies and gentlemen, the first American to orbit the Earth,
Glenn takes his place.
John Glenn.
Ship 7, looking towards the unknown.
It's the latest now in Flint, Michigan, the water crisis there.
At times, it seems like the forces pulling us apart are stronger than the forces binding us together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have detected gravitational waves.
Illuminati mess. Paparazzi catch my fly in my cocky fries.
Opioid addiction is now officially an epidemic.
You lose 100 Americans a day from overdoses of prescription medicine and heroin.
In 9 months, I went from smoking weed and storing pain medication in my dorm room at Center College to being homeless and shooting heroin under a bridge.
The British people have voted to leave the European Union.
There's mass hysteria at the moment.
Those on the losing side of the argument, myself included, should help to make it work.
Today marks the most deadly shooting in American history.
Some 50 dead reported in Orlando.
The shooter targeted a gay nightclub he frequented.
We've taken a lot of steps forward, and something like this just makes all those steps be erased.
And love is 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 love cannot be killed or swept aside.
Rodrigo Duterte was elected president of the Philippines in May on promises of waging a, quote, bloody war on drugs.
I'd be happy to slaughter him.
Breaking news out of Turkey, where tensions remain high this morning after a night of explosions.
President Erdogan called into Turkish television using FaceTime and urging people to flood the streets and resist the coup.
More than 10,000 civil servants have now been fired after the July 15th coup attempt.
The question among terror experts is not will there be another terror attack, but when.
Please don't tell me that he's gone. Please, officer, don't tell me that you just did this to him.
Philando Castile and Alton Sterling were shot and killed by police within a day of each other. Rallies and protests across the country in response to the violence seen during the sniper-style takedown of officers in Dallas.
Pray and hope that this never happens in America again.
This election must be about bringing our people together.
And I will have Mexico pay for that wall. Mark my words.
I'm not going to pay for that fucking wall.
And just as with our founders, there are no guarantees. It truly is up to us.
The WHO today rejected a plea by 150 health experts who argue that the games risked speeding up the spread of Zika globally.
The most decorated athlete in Olympic history is calling it quits by hanging another gold around his neck.
Millions of people worldwide are hunting for Pokemon everywhere around them, but it seems there are some places anyway that players, they can't go.
How sweet it is. After 108 years, the Cubs win the World Series.
Next tonight, a star quarterback's refusal to stand during the national anthem.
This country stands for freedom, liberty, justice for all. And it's not happening for all right now.
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Whatever you want. Grab them by the pussy.
And I can't believe that I'm saying that a candidate for president of the United States has bragged about sexually assaulting women.
And in a stunning upset that reverberated around the world.
Donald Trump won with 306 electoral votes, even though Hillary Clinton got nearly 2.5 million more popular votes.
This political stuff is nasty and it's tough.
But please, never stop believing that fighting for what's right is worth it.
That girl is a real crowd, please.
Thousands fled Aleppo after government forces recaptured large portions of the city from rebel fighters.
Tens of thousands of terrified civilians are streaming out of eastern Aleppo on foot.
The UN Weather Agency says 2016 could break the record for the hottest year since they started keeping track in the 19th century.
Eventually, history suggests there will be some doomsday event.
The path this country's taken has never been a straight line. We zig and zag.
For many, many thousands of years, people had looked up and wondered about what was up there.
The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species.
And we must consider ourselves among the most fortunate of all generations, for we have lived at a time when the dream became a reality.
I hope you would agree that is the right way to go. Yes?